Hello everyone. Today we're going to continue in Babekama Daf Ein Ches. So we're going to start on Daf Ein Zayin Omid base. So we had a brisa that told us that if someone stole an animal that's kilayim, I mean that's not a full say, it's a mix of a say of another animal. The din is he's chayav to pay dalet vehei. He has to pay the special din that you pay when you slaughter or sell a sheep that you stole. Yeah, there's a special din that you pay dalet vehei. That din applies even if it's not a full sheep, it's a mixed breed between a sheep and another animal. Says the Gemara, 2 lines up on the narrow lines, kilayim, why chayav by kilayim sexiv? It says in the pasuk, say a sheep. V'omar Rava, and Rava says, this is like a building stone. Kol mokom shene'emar say, wherever it says in the Torah say, eno elo lo yitzis kilayim, to tell you that kilayim are not included. It means specifically a say. So why over here we're saying say means also kilayim? Says the Gemara, shiny ocha. Here it's different. The Omar Kro, it says in the pasuk oy. It says shor oy say. So the oy is coming to include l'rabbo. It says kilayim to include that also kilayim. You need to yichayev dalet vehei. Ask the Gemara, v'chol oy l'rabbo su. Wherever it says oy in the Torah is coming to merabba. V'atanya we learned shor oy kesev. It's talking about korbanos, and it says shor oy kesev, and we say prat lekilayim. Also there it says oy, and we say it's coming to exclude kilayim, that you can't bring kilayim as a korban. And here he's saying when it says shor oy say, it's coming to include. And continue the brisa. Oy eis, it says a goat, prat lenidme, that some animal that comes from a goat, that really is a goat, but doesn't look like a goat whatsoever, it looks like a different animal, you also can't bring it as a korban. And that's less of a that's more of a chiddush type of thing, because kilayim is less of a ez, it's totally a different breed, but nidme is more of the same breed, just looks different. Okay. So we have a shaila here, we're saying oy is coming to include kilayim, and here it says oy is coming to exclude. Omarova, ocha minyona dekra, ve'ocha minyona dekra. Over here we learn it from the mashmor sapasuk, you learn to exclude, and here you learn it to include. Why? Ocha gabi gneva, over here by dalet vehei, the psukim of gneva, the chsiv shur, it says an ox or a sheep. Shiato yochel yitzi kilayim b'neim, you can't take a sheep and a cow and make babies because they have a different period of pregnancy, different types of length, so they can't have a mix out of them. So when it says oy, we know that from these 2 animals you can't bring kilayim, so the chorah would be obviously without saying anything extra that kilayim is not good. Oy, when it says oy, it's coming to the rabbi, it says kilayim, to tell you that kilayim, if you have a sheep with a mixture from another animal and a sheep, you'll be chayav dalet vehei, and the same with a shor. Gabi kochim babai, bring your korban. Dichsiv keves ve'ez. It says kesev ve'ez. It says a sheep and a goat. Shato yocholo yitzi kilayim b'neim. You could mix a goat and a sheep and have a baby. Oy, so pashas pasuk without oy is coming to tell you with kilayim, because you could make a baby from these 2 animals. So when it says oy, it's coming lemait. It's coming to exclude, to tell you that kilayim not lemaitu. So that's why over here you merabba, and here you memayit. Asa Gemara v'gabi kochim. We have another pasuk about kochim. Nami Nemar also is written shor kesef. It says an ox or a sheep, and that's 2 animals that you can't make babies together. She'einatu yochol lo yitzi kilayim b'neim v'narbi. So let's say, oh, these animals you can't. So therefore, when it says, oh, it's coming to include kilayim, like what we said by gneva. So the Gemara Midah Sefer, since the last pasuk that we said before, where it says shor kesev lemayit, because it's animals that you can't make kilayim from it, so it's coming to tell you that. Midah Sefer that says kesev ve'ez, that you could make kilayim, and it says obviously it's coming to exclude. Reish Nami also, when it says shor kesev is lemayit, it's coming to exclude. So the Gemara, no, opposite. Adarabba, no. Midah Sefer, Midah Reisha, since in the Reisha it says shor kesev that you can't make babies from, and it says oy, so it's coming to include. Midah Reisha l'Rabbi Sefer Nami, where it says kesev is also coming to the Rabbi's kilayim. Why is he saying it's coming to mimayit? So the Gemara, hi might. No, it doesn't make sense what he's saying. If these two psukim. The one it says Shor Kesef, and the other pasuk it says Kesef is. So it's coming to exclude kilayim who the itzrich teremuti. That's why you need two psukim to be made. Why? The afagav de made kilayim, even though we know that you can't bring a korban, something that's a mix of animals, itzrich lemuti nidme. You need another miyut. You need two psukim, another pasuk to tell you something that's really fully from one breed, but it doesn't look like it's type of breed, and that's a bigger chiddush. No, kilayim is also, even a nidme is also. That's why I need two psukim to be made. Elo yomar rabbis, if it's coming to include, to tell you that kilayim is mutar, why do we need 2 times a ribui? Ashta kilayim irbile. If I know already kilayim is mutar as a korban, nidme mi boy, for sure nidme, that something that looks like an animal but really is the right animal, for sure should be mutar as a korban. Why do I need 2 psukim? Elamai, since we have 2 psukim, it must be, it's coming to be made, not only kilayim, also nidme. So God goes the Gemara back about what we said before. Ela hodo omar Rava. This is what Rava said. Zeh bnei av. This is a stone in the whole Torah. Kol mokom shenem aseh. Everywhere where it says eino ela lo yitzis kilayim, it's coming to exclude kilayim. Lemay elchasa. Why is he coming to tell us? We said by gneva. The din is, by gneva it's not coming to exclude, by gneva it's coming to include a chayiv dalet v'hei when it says seh. So where did Rava say that if this is a rule in the whole Torah kula, where is this rule applicable to? Ile kochim, if it's coming to tell you a din in kochim that you're not allowed to bring kilayim as a korban, behet yiksibu, it says it over there clear like we learned, shorei kesef. Ox or sheep, practically kilayim, to exclude kilayim that you can't bring as a korban. Ile maisa, if it's coming to tell you that there is a din that you bring, every 10th animal that was born for you, you have to bring it as maisa, and it's coming to tell you that especially sheep are of one-breeded animals, but not mix. Ile maisa, we don't need it for maisa. Tachas yolof mikochim. By maisa it says the word tachas. By kochim it says the word tachas, and we said before that kochim you can't bring kilayim. So also maisa, you know mechuyev if it's kilayim. Ile bechor, if for the din of bechor that the first animal that's born has a din of kedusha, and it's coming to tell you that especially of a one-breeded animal and not kilayim, you don't need that bnei av of Rava. Why not? Avara yolif maisa. It says by bechor avara. It says by maisa avara. Like by maisa we learn from kochim that we know that kilayim you know mechuyev. So also bechor, that's kilayim you know mechuyev. Inami. Also, even nothing to do with that, I know that I can't be coming to tell you kilayim. We don't need this limud of Rava for kilayim by bechor. Why not? We know even an animal that's a bechor, that's a proper one-breeded animal, just it doesn't look like its parent, it doesn't look like its breed. We know that's not, mechor bechor. Why? Dichsiv ach bechor shor. And we learn from there, that they'll both look alike. So if already I know something that doesn't look alike, I'm not mechuyev b'bchora. Kilayim iboye, a mix, that's much worse off for sure. I'm not mechuyev b'bchora. So we don't need Rava's chiddush of lemuti kilayim for bchora. Elo ki itma de Rava. When do we need Rava's din to tell you zeh bnei av l'chol haTorah le'inyan petach hamor? That there is a din that someone has a first donkey, he needs to be paid, he needs to redeem it on a sheep. So what type of sheep? Can you bring a kilayim sheep and redeem it or not? So for that we need Rava's din to tell you that not. Detnan, like we learned in the Mishnah, in poidim, you can't be poid a petach hamor, loy be'egel, not on a baby cow, veloy bechaya, not on a deer, veloy b'shchuta, not on a sheep that's already slaughtered, veloy b'treifa, not on a sheep that doesn't have a long time to live, veloy be'kilayim, and not on a mixed breed. It's a different type of mix. Rashi says it's a mix between a sheep, animal, and a behemoth. So therefore, that's where Rava's chiddush says wherever it says it's coming to l'mayit kilayim, he means to say where else do we learn? We learn this we learn it to the din of pidyon petach hamor. There needs to be a proper sheep. Ask the Gemara Kasha or Rabbi Lozo the matter bekilayim. Rabbi Lozo argues and says he could be poide a chamor with a seh that's kilayim. Ditnan Rabbi Lozo matter bekilayim. because it's considered a seh. What's pshat? Rava said this is a learning for the whole Torah that seh is coming to exclude kilayim. Where they're coming to exclude, we said to Pidyon, but for Pidyon, Rabbi Elazar holds you could bring a kilayim. Rabbi Elazar says Rabbi Elazar ki itma de Rava. When do we need Rava's din? Letome shenoilad min haTorah. So Rashi says. Sorry, let's just finish. A tome animal that's born from a Torah-dik animal, v'yiburoi got pregnant min a tome. Says Rashi, Poro, a cow, she also susa had a sus as a baby, v'oviv, and the father that made it pregnant is a sus. Oirochel, or sheep, she also chazir, that had a baby, a pig, v'oviv, and the father who made the sheep pregnant is a chazir, is a pig. The ose ba'achila. So, to tell you that such a type of animal is also b'achila, because it says in the pasuk this abeima asher techoilu, this is the animals you should eat. Shor seh ksovim, it says seh. So we learn zeh b'nei av l'chol haTorah. We learn from somewhere else that seh, when it says seh, it's coming la'fukei kilayim. And what type of kilayim? Kilayim, that's half of it is from a tomadik animal. Says the Gemara, but the like Rabbi Yeshua, and it doesn't fit in like Rabbi Yeshua. Do Rabbi Yeshua learned this limud that it's also b'achila from somewhere else. Misek sovim v'seizim nafkele. That it said in the pasuk about achilas. That it said in the pasuk. I read the pasuk. This is the animal you should eat, you're allowed to eat. Sure, sek sovim v'seizim. It says sek sovim v'seizim. It's a extra. So we learn misek sovim v'seizim nafkele ad she'yeh aviv keves v'imay kif. So we need both parents to be the same like he is, and not a tomadik animal. So very good. So now we understand where Rava's din is saying. When Rava says this is a din for kol haTorah kula, he means to say it's a din for pidyon petach hamor, and if you're Rabbi Elazar, it's coming to din for isa achila. They're not allowed to eat such an animal that's kilayim with a tmeil. Comes the Gemara and asks a technical question. Is it possible that a horse and a cow can make babies? We know in Pcheres we learn a technical, scientific fact that not a tme'adik animal can't get pregnant from a Torah-dik animal, no Torah-dik animal from a tomadik animal. So why do we need a pasuk to tell you that you're not allowed to eat such a type of animal? It's not possible in physicality to have such an animal. So the Gemara yes, it is possible. Why? The kaim alone that we hold the aver mikolut kerab Shimon. They got pregnant from a animal that's kolut. Kolut means where we know for a kosher animal you need to have two things. It needs to have maligera. That means it puts its food in the stomach and then it takes it back out and chews it again. That's one category, one specific thing they need to be kosher. And another thing to make it kosher needs to have split legs. That the legs are split like a cow and like a sheep and like a pig. But a pig is no maligera. So the case over here that we're talking about such an animal, it's talking about a cow that was born from both parents' cows, an ox and a cow, but was born with his legs, the bottom of his legs together, as if he's like a horse or like a camel. So that we consider, even though that's born from good parents, a Torah-dik parents, we consider that a behemoth that's tome, because it's not mafresh parsa, because it doesn't have the split forms. So that's the case with such an animal had relations with a normal Torah-dik animal with split, and they had a baby. So that's a kilayim that you're not allowed to eat. So it is possible. So really a horse and a cow can't have babies, but a tme'ah over here means it's really a type of Torah, but it was born in a funny way that we consider it a tme'ah. Very good. We finished the sugya of the Shakla Ritara. Let's continue. Boy Rava. Astrova Shaila and Cheson based off blind. Arele Oilo. Someone says, I need to bring a korban oila. He is mischayev to bring a korban oila. But if we're sure, and he was put a shore at the side to bring out the korban. And as a oila, you could bring different type of korbanos. It could be a shore, that's the most luxurious oila. Or you could bring a seh, a keves, it's like a sheep, or even you could bring some birds as a oila. We're going to see the machlokes what the normal korban that should be, but you could bring any of these items. So this guy, Reuven, said oila, and he was mafresh asher, bracher v'gonvoy, came Shimon and stole it. Mi potan ganem nafshei, can Shimon tell Reuven, I pay you back, but I'm giving you back a keves, only a sheep l'rabonon, because that's good enough l'firabonon as a korban, and ba'oila sa'oif, even a bird, Rabbi Loza ben Azariah, that nan we learned in the Mishnah, oila, someone who says, I must bring the oila, Yovi keves Rabbanon hold he needs to bring a sheep. Rabbi Loza ben Azariah or Yovi Torah ben Yoino. He could bring a bird, a Torah or a son of a pigeon as a oila. So what's the shaila? Me and Shem oila kobilu lovei. This Reuven who was mafresh, he said, I need to bring a oila. So now Shimon is paying him back. All I need to bring you back is to make sure that you can be back with your korban. No problem. I'll give you less of a high korban. Take a seh, take a bird. Oy Dilma, Motzi Omale. Oh no, Reuven can tell Shimon, no. Omale, I'm not mitzvah and I'm I put aside the shore that's the best, luxurious thing to bring as oila, expensive animal. I don't want you to give me back a basic korban. Bossa the boy after Rova asked the Shaila, Oda Poshta at the end, he said, I know Pshat, Gonav. Yeah, potam atzmo, he could pata himself bekeves l'rabonon with a sheep lefishitas rabonon, that's a basic one, and ba'oila sa'oif, and even with a bird lefi Rabbi Loza ben Azariah. So I don't have any more shaila, and yes, he stole an ox and he could pay back a bird. Rav Achabrod, Rav Ikamas Nilo Behedya. He learned this din of Rava, not that Rava had the shaila and then he paskened, straight away he paskened. Omar Rava, areola oila. Someone said, I need to bring a oila, if we're sure, and he put aside the ox as a korban. U'ba'acher came Shimon v'gonva and stole it from Reuven. Pata atzmo, Shimon could pata himself bekeves rabbonon, lefishitas rabbonon can give back a sheep and doesn't have to give back an ox. U'va'oila sa'oif, even a bird, Rabbi Loza ben Azariah, and doesn't have to give back a ox because all what he stole from Reuven is a korban, so he's giving him back a basic korban. Doesn't have to give him the item. The shore has a value for meat because you can't use it for meat. It doesn't have a value to use in the field because you can't use it in the field. What's the value to Reuven? Why is he chayv b'achrayis on this korban? Because it's a korban. So here, take a bird, take a sheep. Said the Mishnah, ein chesel on the base, mochroi chutz me'echod she'mea sheboy. Someone who sold an animal, a sheep or an ox that he stole, and he sold it. So Shimon stole from Reuven a sheep or ox, and he sold it to Levi. That's normally Mechayev Dalet Vehei, but he left 100th of this cow in his possession. Although when Shimon stole from Reuven, he was a shutif in this animal. Another case, a shoichet when his balabiyodo is someone who Shimon stole an animal from Reuven and then he did shchita, but the shchita wasn't a kosher shchita, not because the animal was found a treifa that he can't live. No, the atzam shchita, he didn't do a good shchita, he made it an avela. Or a noicha means someone who cuts it, tears the animal apart without a knife and kills it. The ma'aker, or someone who's oikel simonim, he doesn't check them, he pulls them out. So he does a shchita, not a shchita that's not kosher because of beimas treifel. It's not good shchita, bichlal. V'ma'aker, all these cases, mishamet tashlui kefel, he has to pay kefel because it's ganev. Ve'ena mishamet tashlui abar b'chamisha, but he doesn't pay abar b'chamisha because the first cases is because he's not v'tov choy kulu beis, he didn't do a full mechira, or the tvicha is not a full tvicha because he has a shutfus. Oh, that's not called the tvicha because the tvicha needs to be a kosher tvicha. They did a proper good shchita. Maybe afterwards the behemoth is not kosher because it has a problem in it, but he did a good shchita. Here it's somehow where the shchita is not considered the shchita b'chlal. So the Gemara, when Shimon sold it to Levi and he left 100. Why is there hundreds that he left? Does he have to be something specific, or is it just the 1 in 100? What are we talking about? If he left the nails by him, is that considered a shear that it's not called a mechira? Says the Gemara, Omar Rav, so we have a machloikes. Rav says, Chutz midov anita emoy b'shchita. If he left by himself, if Shimon sold it to Levi and said, I'm leaving by you, that means I'm selling you the whole cow, but part of the meat is mine, even 100 grams of the meat of its leg is still mine, and that's something that it's also to use, to eat until it has shchita. I mean, something that lidei shchita becomes mutter be'achila, mutter to use. That's something that's called ma'akev in the mechira. That's shitas Rav. V'levi Omar, b'lefi Rav, if he left something that's not mutter lidei shchita, like it's wool, or its horns, no, that's something that's not called a shear. And if Shimon sold it to Levi and said, I'm leaving the horns by me and the wool by me, it's not called the ikuv and the shear and the mechira, and it's a mechira that will be mechayiv yudalet v'hei. The Levi argues, he says, even if he left only its wool, he'll still not call the full mechira, and he'll be potter from dalet v'hei. It's also said in the Brisa clearly, like Levi, that it says even if you only didn't sell the wool. We have a kasha. It says in the Brisa, Mochra, someone who sold this animal. Shimon stole from Shimon an animal, and he sold it on to Levi chutz miyodo, and he left his hand in his possession. Chutz miraglo, its leg, chutz mikara, instead of its horn. Instead of its wool, you don't have to pay dalet v'hei because it's called a shear in the mechira, and the mechira that fits in very, very good like Levi. That's what the Gemara is going to say. This Levi is going to hold like Tanakama, but we're going to see that no one holds the mechira like Rav. All the other shittas that we're going to have in the Brisa, 3 shittas don't hold like Rav. Why? Let's see. Rabbi Yoima, what's a shear? Dova ma'akev b'shchita einu mishalem tashlumei arba v'chamisha, v'she'einu ma'akev b'shchita mishalem tashlumei arba v'chamisha. Depends. If Shimon sold it to Levi and he left by him something that's ma'akev b'shchita, meaning that if you don't have that in the animal, it tarfins it. Let's say someone sold it, Shimon sold it to Levi, the whole animal, he left by in his possession the lungs of an animal still belong to Shimon. So if you shech the animal and it has no lungs, it's not kosher. So that's something that's ma'akev, that if you don't sell it, it's not called a mechira. But lefi Rebbe, if it will be something, let's say the meat, because a cow that's missing, let's say a piece of its leg, you could still shecht it if the cow is otherwise healthy and eat the meat. So it's not ma'akev in mechira. That's not ma'akev. It's not ma'akev in shchita. You're allowed to shecht such an animal. So if you didn't sell a piece of its leg, it's not ma'akev in the mechira. And the din will be that yichayev dalet v'hei. Not like Rav said, because Rav said that anything that becomes mutar lidei shchita and a piece of the leg becomes mutar lidei shchita. So Rav doesn't fit in, not like Tanakama, not like Rebbe. And let's see where Rab Shimon and Lozoim. Rab Shimon Lozoim chutz mikarno. If he says, I'm not selling you the horn, you don't have to pay dalet v'hei. It's not called the proper mechira. If he says, I'm selling the whole animal, but I'm leaving by me the wool, then it's not called the shir and mishalem tashum arba v'chamisha. And we're going to see soon all the reasons behind these shittis. But what we were talking about the machlokas Rav Levi, Bishlei Mele Levi, very good. Ketanekama, he holds like the first time in this brisa. Elele Rav Keman, Rav doesn't fit into any of these 3 shittas in this brisa. Omar Rav, says Rav. Amri, says the Gemara. Rav, the Omar Kaitana. Rav fits in like another shitta that we don't have in this brisa. The Tani Rab Shimon and Loza, we had in the brisa Rab Shimon and Loza, but here we're going to see a brisa that said Rab Shimon and Loza said something else. Tani Rab Shimon Lozoima Mochra chutz miyodo, someone who sold it. Shimon who sold a stolen sheep or ox, and he told Levi, I'm selling you everything except of its hand. Chutz miraglo, except of its leg. Eina misham tashlumi arba v'chamisha. You don't pay dalet v'hei, and that fits in like Rav, because that's something that becomes mutar lidei shchita. Chutz mikarno, if he didn't sell, he sold the whole animal, but he left the horns. Chutz mikzeh, he left the the wall, Mishalim Tashuma Abba V'chamisha. You do pay Dalet V'hei, that's not called a Shir. So Rav could fit in this price in Shittas Rab Shimon ben Elazar. Said the Gemara by Maikum Mifligi. We had here 3 shittas, at the end really 4 shittas, in what's considered a Shir, that's not called a proper Mechira, and you won't be Chayav Dalet V'hei. What's the source? What's behind this Machloikis? Tane Kamasova, it said in the Pasuk V'tovchoi, Kuloi Boinon, Full Tvicha, Umachroi also when it says who sold it, Kuloi Boinon, a full sale, and if he left anything, even the horn or the Gizois, it's not full Mechira, so you won't be Chayav Dalet V'hei. The Rebbe Sova, Rebbe holds V'tovchoi, it says V'tovchoi, and he slaughtered it Mididava Tvicha. Something that's Ma'akev in Tvicha. La'afuki Mididava B'tvicha, excluding only something that passes you if you don't have it, let's say lungs, that you don't have in a Tvicha, if the lungs are not there, it's possible in Tvicha, it's not kosher, it's not considered an animal you could shecht. So that's Ma'akev, and therefore Mochroi do me the Tvicha, like in Tvicha what's Ma'akev. Also in Mechira, what's Ma'akev by Tvicha is also Ma'akev by Mechira. Therefore, only if he sold it and didn't sell something that's Ma'akev in the Tvicha, that's something that it's not called a Mechira. But if he sold it, everything, and he kept by himself something that's not Ma'akev by Tvicha, like a piece of its leg or its horn, so it is called a proper Mechira. Rab Shimon ben Elazar Sova, Rab Shimon ben Elazar in the first price holds Karna, the horn, the loilim is gekaina, that normally you leave the horn on the cow, on the sheep, aveshir. If you say I'm not selling the horn, it's part of the animal, it's not something that you normally cut off. So you left something by you, that's considered leaving, it's not considered the full mechira. If you sold it and you left the horn by you, you're not chayev abra v'chamisha. But but the wool, the lemegas kaini, that they're there to be shedded. So loy aveshir, if I sell the sheep and I leave the wool by me, because it's anyway meant to be cut off, it's not considered part of the animal. So therefore, it's as if I did a full transaction. The wool is not really part of the animal. Therefore, Mishalim Tashumei Abba V'chamisha, I did a proper Mechira. V'idach Toni D'Ber Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, and the other brayso Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar who says something else, more like Rav by us. Sova Yodav Raglov, its hands and its leg, its richit tvicha, that it's something that you need tvicha to make it able to eat. Aveshir, that's called a shir in the Mechira if you sell it without it. And on that you don't pay Dalet V'hei if you sold it and you left the leg by you. But the horn and its wool, that you're allowed to enjoy it even without Tvicha. You could take the wool of the animal or the horn of the animal and use it straight away. Lo have a shir. If you sell it without that, that's not called a shir and it's called a mechir and you b'chayev Dalet V'hei. Very good, so now we explained all the 4 shittis. Said the Gemara, Kasha de Rab Shimon ben Elazar, de Rab Shimon ben Elazar. We have a clear stira between the first brisa that says Rab Shimon ben Elazar says one thing, and the other brisa that we brought Rab Shimon ben Elazar says something else, like Rav. It doesn't fit one with each other. Said the Gemara, Trei Tanoi, V'alibid Rab Shimon ben Elazar. It's a machlekes Tanoi. What did Rab Shimon ben Elazar hold? Said the Gemara, Tonu Rabbanon learned that Goyne Vesikta, someone who stole an animal that's missing a limb, Vesachigeres, or animal that can't walk properly, Vesasuma, a blind animal, Vechena Goyne Beimas Ashutfim, someone who steals an animal that belongs to 2 people, Chayev, he has to pay. Veshutfim Shogon, Shutfim who stole, Pturim. If Shutfim who stole, they're potter, they don't need to pay. Kefel and Dalet V'hei. Said the Gemara, V'atanya, it said in the Brayso not like this. It says, Shutfim Shagon V'chayovim, Reuben and Shimon who stole an animal will be chayev. Amar Rav Nachman lo kasher. I have a teretz, it's not kasher. Kan b'shutaf Shagon V'chaveroi. If Reuben, who's a shutaf for Shimon, stole the animal that belongs to him and to Shimon, then he is potter. Me'abon v'chamisha. Even on the part of your friend, because when he shechted it, it's not tvicha kulu b'yisra, half of it is allowed to shecht. When we said that shutfim mechayev, b'shutaf shegonav me'alma. when two shutfim stole from someone else, then they are chayav because they stole a full behema and they slaughtered a full behema behesa. So that's a teretz between shutfim or chayav or potter. If shutfim stole together, they chayav. But shutfim who stole one from each other is potter on Dalet vehei. Eisi ve'Rav Rav Nachman. Rav asked the kasha on Rav Nachman's teretz. It says, Yochol shutuf shegonu mechaveru v'shutfim shegonvu. It says clearly, also a shutuf Reuven who stole from Shimon, and also shutfim shegonvu together. You chayovim, you might think they'll be chayev. Talmud lo ima v'tovcho. It says he slaughtered it fully. Kuloi boinon. It needs to be fully veleka. It's not fully slaughtering because v'chora shutuf shegonu mechaveru, half of it is his. It's not tovchoi kuloi. And shutfim who stole together, each one's slaughtering only half l'chora. Elo Rav Nachman lo yikashe. Kan b'shutaf shetovach l'das chaver. When is the case where shutfim who steal a chayev, the Brisa that says shutfim shegon vo chayev is talking about two shutfim stole from someone else, and then when Reuven and Shimon stole from Levi, an animal that belongs to Levi, and now Reuven came and told Shimon, I'm going to slaughter this animal, and Shimon said, yeah, great, go do it. And we know that the special chiddush by tvicha yesh shliach ledvar avera. So it means Reuven and Shimon both ganovim, and they both slaughtering together. So they tovchoy kulu be'yisura together, and therefore they chayav dalet vehei. Can, in the case where shutfim apoto b'shutov v'shutovach shelo ledas chaver, Reuven and Shimon stole from Levi, and then Reuven never asked permission from Shimon, and he slaughtered by himself. So he's tovchoy chetzi, he's only a chetzi ganev on this animal, and he's not shliach of Shimon, so therefore it's a tvicha of only chetzi. Or he stole Shimon's chelik in the animal and he's doing it without permission. That's already going to meganev, that's potter, and that's a case where we potter from dalet vehei. Boy Rav Irmi asked the shaila, machra chutz mishloishim yoim. Reuven, Shimon stole the animal from Reuven, and then he sold it to Levi, but he left. He said 30 days in next October it will be mine. Chutz mimelachto, he sells it to Levi and tells him you could slaughter it and it's totally yours. But if you don't slaughter it, I'm allowed to use it to plow my field. Chutz mi ubro, he said, I'm selling it to you, Levi, but the baby in the cow is mine. Now, what's the din? So said more. Aliba, about the last shaila about Ubra. Aliba the mandoma Uba Yerech Imoy, who lefi the mandoma it's a machloik somewhere else. That in a tomorrow. If a baby, is a Uba, is an unborn baby, part is like a leg, a limb of the mother. So lefi the shitta that holds that Uba, that unborn baby, is Yerech Imoy, it's like a limb, it's like a leg, it's like a hand of the mother. Loiti boiloch, it's no shaila do shir. But when he sold and he left the baby by him, that's called a shir. It's called that he didn't sell a full animal, so he's not chayav dalet vehei for that mechira. Kiti boiloch, when am I asking a shaila about the ubra, aliba demand the oma lefi the shiton tomorrow who holds the oma, the uba lav yerch imoy, that the baby is not considered a limb, it's a separate entity in the mother. Mai. What do we say? Meimar Minan, do we say Kevin the Mechuperba, since it's at the end of the day, it's even though that's a separate entity, but it's connected physically, Aveshir. So if you sold the mother without the unborn baby, it's not considered a full sale. Oidilma, Kevin the Lifrishman or Koi, since in the future it's going to be separated, the mother's going to have this baby and it's going to be two separate entities. Kevin the Rifrishman or Koi, Lo Aveshir, it's not considered. I'm not selling you the full animal because the baby is a whole separate entity. Ikedarmri, another way to learn these two stodim of the Sophic, Kevin the Lav Yerech Imoy, who since we're going in the shitta that Uba Lav Yerech Imoy, Lo Aveshir, it's not considered a shir, it's a separate entity. Oidilma, Kevin the Tzorach Lishturibado, since you can't eat this baby without the mother shechted, only if you shecht the mother, and if you shecht the mother, this baby is mutter even without shchita. It's like what Rav said, that if you sold a piece of it didn't sell a piece of the leg, it's called a shir. So also if you don't sell this baby, it's also called a shir. Lefidus mandoma the uba lavi archimoy. Teku, Mirza Hashem Tishbi, Eliyahu Novi is going to come very soon and is going to tell us all our sfeikis in the whole Shas and also all our sfeikis in life, and we can live with clarity in life. Boy Rav Papa asked the Shaila, Gonvo, someone sold the animal, koto, and now he cut off a piece of the animal, let's say the leg. And now he sold the full animal, just doesn't have a leg anymore. Now, what did they mean? What he stole, he didn't sell. Because he stole a full animal and now he's selling an animal without a leg, and therefore it's not proper mockery, and therefore you won't be chayav dalet vehei. Or maybe madezobin, what he sold, holoishia, he sold the full animal now. The leg is already separated. Now that he sold Levi, he sold the full animal that's existing in front of us, and therefore it's a proper mechira, it's a proper mockery, and you be chayav dalet vehei. Feiku tishbi utaretz kushis v'bois. Everyone should be very, very blessed.